Johnson's Media Network. Now introducing your hosts, Jay Johnson's Towel Boy Cody Slovinsky, Vandy Chris Keenhold, and Mr. Cheesy himself, Randy Jowers. Let's start the show, boys!
All right, this is the Golden Broom podcast. I am Cody Slovinsky, joined as always by Vandy Chris, but tonight we have a very special guest, former Columbia Lion, Kansas State Wildcat, and now LSU Tigers, Seth Dardar. Very excited to have you on here tonight. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
Man, we can't complain. Celebrating the national championship. We all good. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Man. So to start this off, why don't you just kind of introduce everybody to who you are, where you've been, and just kind of a quick just rundown of you real quick.
Yeah, so I'm Louisiana born and raised, and I've always been an LSU fan, obviously. And then first I went to Columbia University, kind of went through some injuries and whatnot there and had a little rough of a career there. But was able to play my junior year and put up some decent numbers. And then I was fortunate enough to go to Kansas State for a fifth year and played there last year. And then now I have another year of eligibility left, and I'm going to LSU.
Hey, yes, I mean that's a good choice. So when you got the phone call from, I'm assuming Coach Jordan called you first.
Yes.
What was going through your mind at that moment?
Well, actually, this is kind of funny. So I entered the portal and some other schools started texting and calling, and I wasn't answering the phone. I was kind of waiting on LSU, hoping they would call. And after about 20 minutes, Coach Simpson DM'd me on Twitter asking for my phone number. So I replied to him, and I got a phone call from a random phone number about 2 minutes after that, and I answered, and it wasn't Coach Jordan. I already had Coach Jordan's number in my phone, but I figured it was Coach Simpson calling. It wasn't him. And so I was talking with that coach, and that's when Coach Jordan called me. And so I wasn't able to answer it the first time. And I was like, oh, shoot, what's going to happen? And Coach Jordan started texting me saying, like, what are you doing? Pick up the phone. Like, I tried calling you. And so then I called him back and told him I had been on the phone with another coach. I didn't want to be rude and hang up. But, yeah, I mean, I was super excited. And that's kind of the phone call I was waiting for. And he started kind of giving me the recruiting pitch. And I was just like, I mean, yeah, the feeling's mutual for sure. Like I want to come home. I really want to come to LSU. And a little bit after that, Coach Johnson called me and we made it official. So I wasn't in the portal for too long before I told Coach Johnson, like, I'm committed to LSU.
So I gotta ask, when you're getting talked to by Coach Jordan and Coach Johnson, like what do they actually say? Because I feel like those two are just like they have some kind of magic powers when it comes to
Yeah, I mean, first Coach Jordan, I guess, was telling me that they want me to come to LSU and stuff like that because, well, my first time, they actually brought this up. My first time I went in the portal, they recruited me a little bit, but they weren't too, I don't know what word to use, but too heavy onto me coming to LSU. And so I wound up choosing to go to Kansas State, but this time around he brought that up and he made sure like I knew they really wanted me to come there. And so I told him, like, good, I'm glad the feeling's mutual this time. And, I mean, that was pretty it. It's pretty simple. I guess I made it kind of easy on him because this is my dream school and this is really where I want to be. But, yeah, and then Coach Johnson called me and kind of said the same thing. He brought that up, too, about the last time I was in the portal and whatnot. But, yeah, he's talking about how excited he is, obviously, at the time to finish up this year and go to Omaha and hopefully win a national championship. And then how he's excited for me to be in the lineup hopefully next year and hopefully do the same thing. So
Nice.
Okay, so we've already got our first comment. Our friend Jim Cross over in Off the Bench. I know you're joining his program later on in the summer, but he brings up a great topic, your shirt. Tell us about your shirt.
Yeah.
What does it say on it? And give us a little backstory on that shirt.
Yeah, so this is a Jesus One shirt. The team at Kansas State this year, a bunch of the guys on the team ordered these shirts and we got them. But it's really, I think the saying kind of symbolizes that Jesus won over sin and really opened the door to us for eternity and opened the gates of heaven for us. And that's kind of what it symbolizes. And I think it's something that you might be able to wear in public, and it might start a conversation. And I'd be able to explain that to somebody who may or may not be a follower of Christ yet. And yeah.
I love it.
Powerful stuff, man. Love it.
Love it. Yeah, I went to the SEC tournament, and I kid you not, I saw so many fans wearing the shirts. Like, I know
Really?
the apparel had been out for a couple months at that point, and I'd seen a lot of athletes wearing it. But then I start seeing kids and parents and all. I'm like, okay. I
Yeah.
kid you, I saw at least, I'd say 40, 50 shirts when I was there, which
Yeah.
considering, I mean, that's very good. But nah, very cool message. I love that shirt so much.
Yeah, me too. I wear this all the time. I wear it when I travel a lot too, like on the airplanes and stuff, and it's a good conversation starter.
Absolutely. So, Sunbelt Syndicate, who's a very good friend of the show, I went on their show the other night to talk about the championship series because obviously they were supporting Coastal. It says, for your first podcast appearance, your camera and background, you're good.
All right, good. Thank you. Yeah, I put some thought into it. I was kind of stressing about where I should sit and stuff like that, but
No, I think it's
not
perfect.
bad.
I mean, obviously the Nolan
Nolan
Ryan
Ryan,
pictures.
yeah.
I mean, it gets no better than that.
That's perfect.
yeah,
Who signed
Yeah.
the bat?
It's Mike Trout.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Okay. That's not somebody too savvy to have signed a bat and have it hanging on your wall, right?
yeah, not too bad.
So this is going to lead me to a random question for you. Do you have any weird rituals that you do before a game?
Nothing really weird. I'd say the only thing this past year that I did before every game was pray. Like on the bench while they're announcing the lineups and stuff, I'll sit down and pray. And then I would flip back and forth. Like I don't chew gum every game. This is kind of weird, but I don't chew gum every game. But when I do, if I get like a hit my first at bat, I'll keep like the same amount of sticks in. But like if I get out, I'll add like 2 or 3 more. And then sometimes if I start the game like 0 for 2 or 0 for 3, it'll look like I have like dip in or something. And like people will text me after the game, like, you just hit a home run, like chew and dip. I'm like, no, it's actually just bubble gum. It's just I add more throughout the game if I'm not like doing good or getting hits or anything. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's your bubble gum of choice then?
this year is watermelon bubble gum by I forgot.
Is it
the brand.
Bubblicious?
No, but the flavor's bubble, just regular bubble gum.
Okay. So
Or
I think this is a perfect setup for an NIL dealer here. We gotta
I know,
find the company, reach out,
Yeah.
and hook you up. I mean, because we want
Yeah.
you to do all the gum you can. We
Wrigley's.
need the home runs. We need it.
Wrigley's, Bubblicious, Hubba Bubba. Where you at?
All right.
This guy needs a deal.
Yeah, I'll take them. My DMs are open.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So
So
go ahead, Chris.
I was going to ask you, okay, you started out at Columbia, right? You've been in the
Yes.
Ivy League. Okay.
Yeah.
Compare that and what baseball's like up north in the Ivy League. So look at it compared to the Big 12, and then what it's like going into the SEC, being from those two different angles.
Yeah, I think some of the stuff that I guess the Coastal players were talking about, and even Daniel Dickinson, because he came from a mid-major, a lot of the stuff they talk about is about just being like hard-nosed and putting in the work and being like a tough player and stuff like that. That's definitely stuff that at Columbia we kind of lived by and died by, and that's how we tried to play. And then being in the Ivy League too, you add like the academic factor, I guess, to the grittiness, and like our schedules would be full and there's no time to do anything outside of school and baseball. But that really prepared me for like going to the Big 12, and then I had some extra free time and I kind of just used it all on baseball. I was really able to focus on baseball this past year. And we had some of the nicer things, I guess you could say, as far as, I mean, everything from gear to the way we traveled and the food we had and really everything. It felt like, I was playing for a Major League Baseball team, really. And then obviously going to LSU next year, that's like the mecca, I guess, of college baseball, the SEC and stuff like that. So I guess it might be another jump up. But yeah, I guess those would be the biggest differences.
I gotcha. So
Yeah.
when you were at Columbia, you played with Hayden Schott, right?
Yes, I did. He's a good
Okay.
friend of mine.
So I got to ask, we see him on Twitter and all that. He's super entertaining. Is he really like that in person?
Yes, he's been like that. So my freshman year at Columbia was COVID, so I never went to campus. I never met any of my teammates in person, but I played on the same summer ball team with them after my freshman year, and so I got to know him then. And I mean, I met him down. I flew to LA because that's where he lives, and we drove to San Francisco together. And I don't remember how long the drive was. I want to say like around 5-ish hours, six-ish. And I don't think there was a moment in the car that was silent. And he was probably talking for 80% of it. And that's what I knew. I mean, he's a super friendly guy, and he's just super entertaining. So the car ride went by quicker than it was supposed to, I guess, which wasn't a bad thing. But that was like the first time I met him. I had never even spoken to him before, and that's when I knew, like, yeah, he's definitely an entertaining guy. He's a character.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
What you thinking, Chris? You got something on that brain?
So you talked about the food difference at Columbia and Kansas State.
Yeah.
So you live off campus?
At Columbia, I lived on campus. At Kansas State, I lived just off campus.
Okay. Me and Cody are coming over for supper. What are you cooking for us for supper that's going to make us want to come back and eat with you again?
Well, now is definitely different than when I was at Columbia in New York. It was probably something frozen that I'm warming up in the microwave. But shoot, now I'd say I have a good jambalaya recipe. That's not too difficult to do, but that I really like. So that's probably what I would do.
I love jambalaya, so that's
I'm down for some jambalaya.
All the way. So are you going to be moving on to campus here soon?
Yeah, I need to. I'm still trying to figure out, but I think sometime in July, I'm going to take a summer class and start working on stuff on campus pretty soon.
Yeah, so you're going for your MBA right now, correct?
Yes, that's right. I started it at Kansas State, and I'll finish it this year.
Okay, so what are you studying?
Like finance, econ, all that sort of stuff, business. So yeah.
Nice. What was your degree at Columbia?
I got a civil engineering degree at Columbia.
You can use that very well.
Yeah.
It's a good backup plan. I mean, that resume alone, I mean, you see Columbia, right? All right, you're it.
Something interesting I found out on Twitter today, of all places, that in order to be an NFL agent, all you have to have is an MBA in business.
All right.
So
well, now I know that.
If baseball doesn't work out, there's a fallback plan for you. You get paid $2,500 an hour to go represent some high-profile athletes, right?
Yeah, that wouldn't be too shabby.
So here's a question that I don't know if you've even thought about this or not, but obviously the Major League Draft is coming up. You had a very good season. I mean, are you open to fielding calls from them? I mean,
obviously that's always been a dream for me to play in the major leagues, but I think kind of what a lot of the players, even on this year's team, I heard Milazzo in an interview not too long ago say, like, as a kid growing up, they all dreamed about playing at LSU. It wasn't, playing for the Yankees or for the MLB. Mm-hmm. And so that's definitely true for me. And going to LSU this year is definitely something that might even trump that dream of going to the MLB. So I think, it would be interesting to field some calls and whatnot, but I think I'm definitely going to end up on campus this year at LSU.
Good. I like to hear that. I like to hear that a lot.
You notice, Cody, that's a non-committal answer, right?
Well, I'm
pretty committed to going to LSU this year.
To be fair, you always have to be open-minded to things because you just never know. I mean, if someone says, "Hey, we're going to give you $5 million signing bonus," I mean, obviously you're rethinking everything at that point.
Yeah, but unless something crazy like that happened, I'm definitely going to end up at LSU this year.
Yeah, for sure. And so obviously now things have changed. They have to go to a 34-man roster next year. It makes it where like junior colleges are going to benefit big time by getting guys that might want to go pro and not really want to have to, hunt around, because making a 34-man roster is not easy at this level. So when you see this and knowing now how quickly these guys are jumping to the majors, how do you view like a school like LSU in terms of for your development as a player?
Yeah, I think that's something Coach Johnson touched on too, like in the phone call and while he was recruiting me out of the portal. But I think it's something that's huge and something that I could definitely benefit from this year. And I mean, I've had a pretty long college career, and I've been through the ringer a little bit, and I know what it's like to like have to put your work in and develop and get better. And I think at LSU, it's only going to be even better. So
Absolutely. So when you're, let's say you don't have classes, you don't have to worry about baseball at the moment. What do you do for fun?
I really don't have too much of a personal life, to be honest. It's really just training and really trying to get my body to back to 100% again. It was a long season and stuff, but and practicing. I go hit with my dad pretty much every day, take ground balls with him pretty much every day. He's been my coach since since I started playing baseball when I was like 3 years old. And so when I'm home, that's who I'm comfortable training with, and we go do it every day. And then I definitely give him something to do. I know when I'm gone, he's probably, I don't know what he does honestly when I'm gone, but yeah, when I'm home, I mean, he works, and then the rest of his day, I mean, he's either with me at the gym training. I kind of do the working out part on my own now, just because I have like strength coaches and stuff like that can send me programs. But the baseball stuff, I mean, it's still just me and him.
Nice, very nice.
Okay, so one of the stories I heard during the World Series was Bear Jones and his roommate were dog lovers. They had 4 dogs in their apartment. I got to ask, are you a pet lover? If so, dogs or cats? And are you going to have one at your new residence at LSU?
I do like pets. I have 2 dogs, but I don't think I'm going to bring them up to LSU. I'll probably leave them at home. One of them is like my sister's dog, and the other one, I could tell a crazy story about how I got the other one, but the other one is like the family dog, I guess. So I'm not bringing them up to LSU.
We're down for some crazy stories. Feel
We
free
really
to tell.
Well, I'll tell the story. It's kind of a difficult one to tell because there's so many moving parts to it. But so the first dog we got, which is my sister's dog, she actually ran away, but she was in Beaumont, Texas. So I was playing summer. It was when I was playing summer ball in California. My parents came to visit me, or my family came to visit me for the weekend, and it was 4th of July weekend. And the lady that usually dog sits our dog had moved to Beaumont, Texas, but her mom had just so happened to be going out there for the weekend for the 4th. So her mom brought our dog to Beaumont. My family flew to California, and we got a phone call, I think the day after the 4th, saying that she had run out of the house. She ran into an open field. They couldn't find her. And
gosh.
so, yeah, my sister was devastated. I mean, we were all pretty sad. And my mom and sister flew to Beaumont, going looking for her, couldn't find her. They went home. I finished out the summer in California. I come home. My sister's still upset. It was like a month later. My sister was still super upset. So that's when we got our newest dog. And a couple weeks after we got our new dog, we got a phone call from the dog sitter in Beaumont saying that our dog had showed up. She was like 2.5 pounds, like sickly looking, and she survived out there somehow. She's a little Yorkie. She's a tiny dog, but she survived for like 6 weeks. And so we got our old dog back, and my mom wasn't too happy that we had 2 dogs in the house for a while, but everybody's kind of used to it now. They're super happy that our old dog came back. But that's why we have 2 dogs now. And I don't know how our dog survived. She's a little Yorkie and she's a little fighter, but
What's her name by chance?
Brentley.
I like it.
Okay.
Might have to call her Beast after that. My God.
No, I don't know how she did it, but yeah.
Like, that's amazing. So that actually, I feel like that will to survive. So why don't you, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, we have over 250 people in here right now watching, by the way, which
All right,
that's
a little bit of
awesome.
pressure.
So no pressure. No, tell everybody, what is LSU getting in you? Like, who are you? What are you going to do for this program?
I'd say definitely a perseverant person. I think the way my career's kind of gone, with all like the season-ending surgeries and stuff like that, can kind of attest to that. And I mean, yeah, just a perseverant person, someone that loves baseball. Obviously, I've kind of stuck with it through all the ups and a lot of the downs. And someone that loves to win more than anything else, more than personal success on the field or even off the field. Like I want to win more than anything, and I definitely am pushing to go back to back next year. So
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Please feed that energy to me. I like it. So let's talk about it. You commit to LSU. Omaha happens. They win it all. Obviously, as a LSU fan, I know you're thrilled about it. Seeing the gem that Kate Anderson threw in the finals, looking back now, knowing that you went deep on this, man, I mean, like, how does that make you feel? I mean, that's a pretty awesome, like, accomplishment.
I mean, yeah, it feels pretty good, I guess, to say I I hit a home run off of him, and he's probably going to be the number one overall pick. So I guess that's something I can have in my back pocket on him. But I mean, to give him credit, he did strike me out my first 2 at bats of that game.
You don't remember those at bats, though.
I definitely remember them because I went back to the dugout, and our hitting coach was talking to me, and he was like, "What's going on? Like, are you sticking to the game plan?" And I'm like, I mean, I'm trying to stick to the game plan. I can't see a slider. I was chasing sliders kind of away. I was like, I can't see a slider. Like, I don't know what to do. And so I kind of changed it up my next at bat, and I hit a slider. I got a good pitch to hit, and I go back to the dugout, and my hitting coach is like, "What happened? I thought you couldn't see the slider." And I was just like, "Yeah, I saw it that time, coach." And so I guess you could say I got a little bit lucky on that one, but. Yeah, that was definitely a good feeling in that moment.
Nah, that ball, that wasn't luck, my friend. That was a very, very good shot.
Thank you.
Did anyone by chance get that ball out of the water and give it back to you?
No, I did not have that baseball.
That is a shame. Someone should have went and fished that out for you, just to be honest. But it's all good. So, growing up as an LSU fan, who were some of your favorite players growing up?
I definitely say it goes probably back to like Mikey Matuk. My cousin actually played for LSU, Matt Goday. He had a lot of home runs here.
Okay.
That was back in 2010. And then obviously like the Mason Cats, all those guys, Alex Bregman. I know I'm leaving a lot out, but there's so many of them. And then coming into like more recent years, Kramer Robertson, Cole Freeman, all those guys. And then, I mean, even now, I mean, I've been watching even the guys on this team over the past few years, even though I've been in college, but I've still been a fan of LSU and stuff. So it's cool that I'll get to play with them now and be on the team.
I gotcha. So speaking of Kramer Robertson, I don't know if you remember during their Omaha run with him, but he went completely just bleach blonde. Are you going to do something like that if it's needed?
I definitely, if it's needed, I'll do anything for the team, whatever's needed. But I don't have any plans on going full bleach blonde. I actually did this for the playoffs this year, the ends of my hair, and it was a last second thing. We were in Texas for the conference tournament, and one of my teammates lives not far from the stadium in Arlington, and we were at his house in the morning, and he has 2 sets of twin sisters. Actually, we were sitting there, and they were like, "Do y'all want to dye your hair?" And I was like, you know what? I'll do anything right now to try to get us hot, get something going. And so his sisters, we went to Walmart, got the dye. They dyed the ends of my hair. And I didn't tell like anybody. I didn't tell like my mom or anything. She shows up to the stadium and she's in the stands looking at me like she wants to kill me. And I was like, oh gosh. And so after like a week or so though, we went to the Texas Regional, played there, and then I came home and she kind of got used to it. She said I needed to cut my hair. So my hair was like out to here before, and now it's lower. But she said like you need to at least cut your hair. You can leave a little bit of blonde in it. So I think it's growing on her a little bit. I'm not sure if she'd be for the full blonde, but if we need something to get us going next year, I'll do anything. I'll shave my head if I have to.
I about to say, you see Monster Milam, he goes tiger stripes. So I mean, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
If you do it, I'll remember that it's for the team. I got you.
Whatever it takes.
So, looking at your numbers at Kansas State from this year, you hit 326. You had 13 home runs, 45 RBIs. You had your strikeout to walk ratio was a little bit backwards. What is something that you plan on working on this year to kind of reverse those numbers?
Yeah, definitely more contact. I think that's something I worked on a little bit going into this season. And prior to this season, I hadn't played for like 2 years just because of injuries and stuff like that. So in the fall, my strikeout numbers were kind of high, and my power numbers were high, but my strikeout numbers were high. And so that's kind of something I worked on, was just like hit a single. Like, don't worry about putting it over the fence. Obviously, when you take off a long time, you step into the box and all you're thinking about is seeing like how far can I hit this thing. And so I think definitely just that mentality of like just hit a single, because my power, I don't really have to sell out too much to try to hit a home run. There's a lot of times this year with 2 strikes, I would get wider and not even stride, and then wound up running the ball out of the yard and kind of surprising myself that I had that in me. And so I think that my approach and the mentality is like the main thing to kind of reverse the strikeout and walk numbers.
Okay.
I gotcha.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing all the time. Sometimes it just happens just because of where you're at in the lineup too.
Yeah.
For sure. So let's talk about you having Tommy John surgery. Explain, obviously you can tell your story about what happened leading to that, but I want you to kind of explain like what the recovery process is like for that, for a position player. Because obviously a pitcher,
Yeah.
it's really slow. So I was curious, like,
Yeah.
what it's like in that other aspect.
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, for anybody, it's probably really slow. For me, it was like, I mean, I was trying to throw after like a month of being out of surgery, and my trainers and everybody are like, you need to slow down. So that was definitely like a key word in my head that they would always tell me, like, just take it slow down. Because I'm always the type of person that wants to get on the field as soon as possible. But yeah, I mean, for the first 4 months, you're pretty much shut down from doing anything baseball related, like throwing wise or anything like that. And so it's just tedious and repetitive rehab for those 4 months. And then you start getting into like the throwing program, and like it's super, I guess you almost feel fragile because it's like you haven't thrown in so long. You've been doing all this rehab to try to build up to this point, and then it's like you're kind of scared that like you don't want anything to happen, like to injure your elbow or anything like that. And so the throwing, like the throwing program is still kind of slow. And then I did it kind of weird. So our season started around the time I was starting my throwing program. I might have never even started my throwing program yet, but I was hitting. And so I started hitting in games actually as we were playing road games, and I was leading off as like the shortstop, and then they were putting in like the defensive shortstop in the bottom of the first
Okay.
inning. And so I wound up playing 10 games, and then diving into home plate on a squeeze play, I like kind of messed up my arm again. And so that like set me back on my rehab. I didn't finish the year, and that was like super unfortunate. But yeah, so then that set me back even further. But then once I got past it, there's like a certain point you hit when you realize like, oh shoot, I haven't thought about my elbow in like a couple weeks. Because it's like every time you go throw, you're thinking like about like, okay, is it gonna hurt? Am I gonna feel anything? It's feeling kind of weird, whatever. And then I'd say after about a year, at least for me, position like as a position player, that's when I kind of felt like, oh wait, I'm like good to go. Like I'm pretty much 100%. I'm not thinking about it at all. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So did the hip
So-
injury happen after the arm injury?
So I guess I could just take you through all my injury history, but my elbow, I got surgery on my elbow in the fall of my sophomore year. Rehab that, started hitting again, like I said, during the season, and then quickly got shut down. And then right around the year point in like October of my junior year in the fall, I hurt my knee in practice. We were practicing rundowns. I pretty much blew my knee out. Like I planted kind of the wrong way. I was trying to stop. I planted the wrong way. My tibia and femur dislocated. I mean, my foot was kind of just dangling, and I thought like they carted me off the field to the training room, and I was sitting there like, I mean, I was tearing up and stuff, thinking like, I mean, is my baseball career about to be over? Because I hadn't played up to that point. I hadn't played since my junior year of high school. Because my senior year of high school was COVID. My freshman year of college was COVID. My sophomore year was Tommy John. And then this is my junior year in the fall, and I'm thinking that my knee is just destroyed. And so I wound up going to get an MRI. They said my ACL was only partially torn, and then I tore my meniscus. And they wanted to do surgery on it, but I was like, I'm walking. I walked into like the hospital to go get my MRI. I was like, I'm walking on this sucker. Like, I'll friggin' wrap it up, put a brace on, and I'm playing this year. And so that's what I wound up doing. I got like PRP. I got some injections before the season, and wore like one of those big offensive lineman knee braces the whole season. Played on that, and then towards the end of the year, I was starting to like schedule my surgery on my knee because I still had like a torn meniscus, and I thought I had a torn ACL at the time, but the story gets better, I guess. And so I started going to doctors with like 2 weeks left in the season, get like an MRI so they can see it now compared to before. And I got like 4 different second opinions, and every doctor said like my ACL was completely torn and I could lose my leg if I keep playing. And so that's why I shut down with like 2 weeks left to play in the season. But the good part of the story is coming. I go into surgery, same doctor that did my elbow surgery, Dr. Chris Amott. He's the team doctor for the New York Yankees. I'm thinking I'm going to wake up with this knee brace on because they explained it to me before. And I wake up and my leg was just wrapped in an ace bandage. And so I'm still getting my wits together, and I'm talking to the nurse. I'm like, what? Like, I thought I was supposed to have a knee brace on and all this stuff. And they're like, oh no, they just had to do your meniscus. Your ACL was fine. And so within the next 5 minutes, I think I asked her 20 times, like, wait, are you sure? At first I was like, that's not a funny joke. Like, that's not funny.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, wait, are you sure? And like, I was still waking up from surgery and kind of discombobulated and whatnot, but I kept asking her, and she's like, I'm going to go get the doctor for you so he can explain it to you and you can know that you just had to get your ACL or your meniscus done. So he came in and he was like showing me the video of it, and he was like, your ACL is as good as can be. Like it's like a miracle. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but your ACL is fine. So that rehab went from what would have been like a year off, and I might have missed my senior year because of my knee too, to like 3 to 5-ish months from meniscus. And so going into my senior year now, yeah, the injuries aren't over yet, but that was like some good news, I guess. And so going into my senior year, I didn't play too much in the fall, maybe in the back end of the fall. I got like a couple of at-bats in, and then early spring, first day of scrimmaging, I hit a home run. I got one at-bat, I hit a home run, but my hip was like started bothering me, and it felt like I had like pulled a muscle, and like my quad was all tightened up, my groin was all tightened up. And like the next day I woke up and I mean, it was just like locked up. Like it hurt getting out of bed and walking. And so I talked to the trainers about it, and they thought maybe I had like strained a muscle, kind of stayed off of it for a couple of weeks and was trying to do physical therapy. And it was just like continuously getting worse. And so went and saw a doctor, got an MRI. I had torn my hip labrum in like 2 or 3 different spots. And so,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So then I was still trying to get ready for the season, hoping that maybe I could play through it, still do some physical therapy, wrap it up, whatever it took to try to play. And like another 2 to 3 weeks went by, was not getting any better. I tried to run. We were playing Florida the first weekend, so I wanted to play in that more than anything. And so tried running, and I ran around the football field like one time, and I like laid on the ground and I couldn't even walk. And I was in so much, it was like excruciating pain. So then I had to get surgery on my hip, missed my whole entire senior season, and then went into the fall at Kansas State, still kind of rehabbing that. And then got healthy before the season and luckily stayed healthy. No serious like injuries or anything throughout the year for the first time. It feels like in forever. But super blessed and super fortunate that I was able to get through the season healthy this past year and play. But yeah, that's like my story, I guess you can say, in my injury history, which has been a little bit unlucky, I guess.
So like
Okay.
what'd you do to pass the time? You play video games or?
I don't play video games, and a lot of rehab and working out and trying to focus on what else I guess I could do to get better, whether it's mentally, like trying to grow my mental game, like reading books about that and stuff like that, and watching baseball, or even with my lower body injuries, doing upper body working out and that kind of stuff. I mean, I was in my dad's funny, like all these videos and stuff, but he has videos of me like the same day after I woke up from my knee surgery. I was in the hotel, like working out upper body. And but yeah, I mean, I'm always trying to get better and perfect my craft, I guess. And during those times it was a little bit more difficult too, but that's, I mean, I my whole life is surrounded by baseball. So
Love it.
Okay, so I'm going to take you down a road. Okay, you faced some trials and tribulations throughout your baseball career. Let's say you're playing a game, you go 0 for 5. You have 4 strikeouts and a little soft dribbler back to the pitcher. 2 errors in the field. One of the worst games you've ever played in your life.
yeah.
All right, you're on this long bus ride home. 2:00 in the morning. You're an hour from home. Who's the one person in your phone that you're going to call to get your mind back right to make you want to get back out on the field tomorrow?
Probably my dad, and not for the reasons you think. I'm gonna call him, and he's gonna start saying, everything I did wrong in the game, and let me know how bad of a game I had. But it's kind of funny. This sort of happened this year. We played at BYU. I went 0 for 5 the first game, and I think that was like the only game my batting average dropped below 300 on the season. And I called my dad, and he's kind of telling me like, "Oh, this, that, whatever he's saying," and it almost gets me in like a defensive mode. Like I'm telling my dad, like, "Hey, I'm fine. Like I'm gonna be okay. Like I hit a couple balls hard. They ran them down. Like I could have easily been 3 for 5 today. Tomorrow I'm gonna go out there and be just fine." And and so I guess his sort of negativity makes me be more positive about myself. And then it actually the next day I think I wound up going. I got either 3 or 4 hits that day. I hit 2 home runs in one game for like the first time in my career. Almost had 3. I hit one off the top of the fence, and I called my dad after the game and make sure I had to let him know, like I told you, I'm okay. Like,
Okay.
but yeah, I think my dad. And then I started reading the Bible this year. I read it every day. I read like at least 4 chapters a day. And that's something that definitely kept me grounded throughout the season, whether, I had a good game like against BYU when I went 3 for 4 or 4 for 5 or whatever it was, or even the game before when I went 0 for 5. It was like I was reading my Bible that night, and I remembered like, hey, this is just a game. No matter how good or how bad I did, it's like I'm thankful that I'm healthy and I get to go back out there tomorrow and get another at bat and another go at it. So I think that's something that this year especially really helped me like keep me grounded and focus and not get too high or low.
What's your go-to Bible verse?
I don't know. I'm still working through the Bible right now. I really liked the Psalms. They're like super uplifting. I've posted a couple on my Instagram account, but I don't have one. I'd say I have it on my glove, and I can't remember the numbers of the verse, but it's in Luke, and it's to whom much is given, much is required. And that kind of, I feel like, has embodied really my career. It's required so much of me throughout like the injuries and the rehabs and when I wasn't playing to like stay focused and locked in and trust that God had a plan for me and that it wasn't happening for no reason. And so hopefully, it all works out in the end. And I think this past year, I was able to look back on the year and say, like, for the first time in my career, like, hey, I'm pretty satisfied, I guess. I guess that's kind of like sometimes it's a bad word to use. I never want anyone to think like, hey, I'm satisfied. I'm not working hard or whatever it is. But it was the first time I look back like, wow, like my hard work really, really paid off. And like everything that I've gone through finally has come to fruition,
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Well, I got a verse for you then. Luke 1:37. With God, nothing is impossible.
That's exactly right.
That was my under my hat verse that I always had every year playing. I was always my favorite. So, yeah, Luke's a good book. Yeah, man, this has been a great interview. So fun fact, we said 20, 30 minutes. It's been 40 minutes already. That's how quick these things go. I mean, this has been awesome.
I didn't know I could talk for this long.
You're doing great.
I about to say, this to be your first time on a podcast, I don't believe you in a way. Like, that's how good you are. So.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, for sure. So
we're just getting you warmed up for the in off the bench debut you have coming up down the road.
Yeah. This is good practice.
Man, his questions are good though. I like the way he interviews. So before we get you out of here, why don't you tell people where they can find you, and if you got any like shout outs you want to give, anything like that, floor is yours.
I think my Instagram and Twitter is just @Dardar_. And that's really it. Shout out my little sister. I know she's listening right now. She always asks me to shout her out. So shout out Riley. That's my little sister. But yeah.
You know what, Riley, if you're listening, put a comment in the chat where we can ask him any question that you've ever wanted to ask him. We'll ask it for you.
Yeah, don't be too difficult on me, Riley, if you do say something.
Oh man, that's funny.
That's funny.
So obviously as an LSU fan, I told you like when we saw you hit the portal, obviously, when you see someone from Louisiana hit the portal, your eyes get big because you're like, hey, if they haven't been at LSU, this could happen.
Yeah.
But obviously, LSU fans that watched the entire season, which there's a lot of us out there that did, we had a negative thought towards you at a point this season, but in a good way, obviously.
Yeah.
And I mean, watching that game you were talked about a lot on the broadcast. They were talking about your bat and everything. And when you see it, we're like, hey, this guy's good. And then when you hit the portal, obviously we were excited. Well, I just want to be straight up with you. Tiger Nation is very excited for you to be joining. It's going to be an amazing ride. And honestly, I really am looking forward to seeing what 2026 holds for this team. A lot of good guys coming back, a lot of good guys coming in. I think the brotherhood's going to mesh very well. And man, I can't wait to see you out there.
Yeah, thank you. And I can't wait to get out there. And I mean, that's really what makes LSU is the fan base and like the community and stuff in Louisiana and even other LSU fans that are from out of state and stuff like that. But I think that's definitely what I'm most excited for is playing in the box in front of all those people and trying to put on for the state. So,
man, I love it. Well, Seth, man, we really appreciate you coming on tonight. I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, we're going to invite you on again as probably after I'd say after some fall ball. I think I want to get you back on and just kind of get where your mind is at that point and just see what's going on. And obviously, I'm going to keep in touch with you because, man, you're a cool dude. You got a good story. I love it. Obviously, you got a fan for life now. So, man, thank you so much. We'll be in touch. Have a good rest of your night, and glad you're home.
Yeah, me too. I'm always happy to be home. I'm such a homebody, and every time I'm gone, I'm always. I think I told y'all that before I got on. I was like, I'm always calling my mom, telling her like, I need to come home. I'm so homesick. So I'm happy to be home, and thank y'all for having me on. This was fun.
For sure, man.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, man. Later. All right. Well, man, that was Chris. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's a good dude right there. You're on the left tonight. I don't care.
No,
it shot you there.
I'm not the traffic director.
I'll fix it.
There you go.
Well, that was fun. I tell you what, we're at 500 people in here right now. That's amazing. Let's just do a short break real quick. It'll be 30 seconds, and then we'll hop back in here, and it's time for me to gloat a little bit. If you're in the Anderson, South Carolina area and would like a tattoo, go see Jimbo. He'll give you the best work around. If you would like to see samples of his work, contact Andrew Anderson, the leader of the Villains. Never hurts to ask. All right. Chris, buddy. Am I allowed to finally talk LSU tonight? All year you've censored me on my LSU talk. You've put the brakes on me.
As long as you don't put me to sleep.
Oh, I'll put you to sleep. But I want to say something right now that actually gives you credit. You and I can actually compare something finally. How many fans can raise their hand and say that their head coach has 2 national championships? We both can.
Yeah.
I am so happy that Jay Johnson has entered that category. I mean, that was a special run. Nothing but love to Coastal Carolina. They played their hearts out in that series. They really did. They left it all on the field. Some unfortunate things took place in those games. It is a shame.
Yeah,
I don't think Kevin Schnall should have been thrown out. Let's go ahead and get into it. I personally don't think that Schnall should have been tossed. I think it was too premature. Now, if he kept going after serious warnings, then let's reconsider this. But obviously, all the antics that really went down was after he was already tossed. Like he was tossed just by simply saying he missed 3 pitches. I mean, look, I know you're not supposed to argue the balls and strike. I understand that in the rules, but look,
He wasn't
national
arguing
championship
that.
game.
That's not what he was doing, though.
I mean, he was pointing it out though.
Okay, but what he was doing is his team got a warning. He didn't hear what the warning was for. He just heard that they were getting a warning. He wanted to know what for. So he stepped out on the field to ask the ump, what's the warning for? And the ump treated him like a child and shooed him away like you do a child. Now, that's not professional. You give the coach an explanation of why you gave his team a warning. And then you can have that discussion. That's not what the umpire did.
No, you're right. And, I will say this. I really hope that his suspension is lifted he shouldn't have to miss the first 2 games of next year. I don't think he should. That being said, I'm just going to pretend this is what happened, but whoever thought a man could have so much energy in them that their force field would push an umpire over without them physically touching them. LeBron James was proud of that flop, by the way, because that umpire totally tripped over his own feet. That was not anything that Chanel did. That being said, I personally, I would have been pretty scared with Chanel.
I think Angel Campos needs to be out of job.
So, yeah, I mean, to be fair, he does have a pretty iffy history.
Checkered past, yes.
Yes.
He's the same umpire that threw Camarella out of the Clemson Tennessee game in 2023 that absolutely changed that game.
Yep, absolutely. Now, I don't think that was actually the changing point in the game, because at that point it was still 0-0. Coastal goes and gets a home run the next inning. They went up in that game. What really changed the whole momentum of that game is when Jacob Morrison's watch had some malfunctions. He wanted to do the old school call pitches and just go, but they pulled him off the mound. They took his attention away for a minute, got him fixed back up. He gets back out there, and then everything happened. I really think that messed his psyche up right there.
So how much does it mess it up that your pitching coach is no longer your pitching coach? He's your acting head coach.
Yeah.
And how much difference does that make in calling the game and making personnel changes?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously you have other assistants that have to step up. And I think every assistant on the staff is already prepared for moments like this. Probably not prepared for moments like this in the deciding factor of your season, because that's what really kind of annoyed me, was the fact that he was tossed in this environment. Because see, the day before, Daniel Dickinson got hit by the pitch and, his arm went down and they said, hey, you're out. And Jay bit his tongue and didn't unleash about it. I mean, obviously you can argue whatever you want on that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't think it was intentional per se, but according to what they look for in it, it was intentional. I mean, I don't think he purposely went like this, because obviously it would have been ball 4. So right. I think he was setting to get ready for what his decision was going to be, and his arm just happens to go that way, and it is what it is. Because if you watch how he bats, that's what happens. But I was very proud with LSU's play. Obviously, I mean, Cade Anderson was not his best self in game 1, but he was able to go a complete game and throw an absolute gem. His overall pitching approach was not what we had seen previously, but he got the job done and did very, very well. Game 2, Anthony Ianson goes out there, and that man was ready to shut it down. And he had a very effective game out there. He had 2 pitches that he would like back from his outing, but overall did a phenomenal job. And Chase Shores comes in and shuts it down, which before the College World Series started, Chris, what'd I say? Chase Shores is the X factor for LSU. And he proved that in Omaha. He did fantastic. And he went from a guy that was anywhere from the 4th to 7th round pick to he's potentially a top 3 to 4 round pick now.
So one thing I wanted to talk about was, I've mentioned it before. How much does one hit change everything about this tournament?
Yeah.
If you think about it, Vanderbilt was in the position twice against Louisville, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out, where one hit changes that game. You don't end up in the losers bracket. You're probably still playing. and then Louisville's got to beat you twice. I mean, how much does that change? And then Coastal Carolina on Saturday night. How much does one hit change that game when they had opportunities with runners in scoring position?
Absolutely.
One hit made the difference. I think it changed the whole series. If they get one hit and they win that game.
Yeah.
Does LSU have enough left to win a game 3? Does Coastal Carolina have enough left to win a game 3? One hit changes so much in game 1.
So LSU would have had enough to get through because at that point, all that had been used was Ianson, Anderson, and then Chase Shores, but Chase Shores would have been ready to go the next day if needed. But you have Kason Evans, who you say is the best pitcher on LSU staff, ready to go. You have Zach Cowan, who would have been ready to go, that pitched an absolute gem a few days before. But he was rested, ready to go. You have Jaden Newt ready to go. You have Cooper Williams. I mean, you had so many options of arms for LSU at this point. Like they were in a much better position than Coastal. Should a game 3 have been forced? I would not have wanted it. I would not have wanted it.
It's just interesting how much one hit would have changed so many things the entire tournament, from regionals to the national championship series.
Absolutely.
Just one hit.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to say that LSU only lost one game in the postseason, and that was to Little Rock. Shout out to Little Rock, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, seeing how this season ended and seeing how they played LSU, I'll be honest with you, had we not played Little Rock, I don't know if they would have had the energy to go through and do what they did. I really think that really helped. It was like an iron sharpens iron thing. Mm-hmm. Little Rock went out there. It's like when you watch like a mixed martial artist, fight, they have their sparring partners, and these guys give them all that they can give them in practice. I mean, that's what I felt like Little Rock did. And it almost got Little Rock to the Super Regionals, but thankfully it didn't. But
it just ran out of gas.
Yeah. And, it was a shame for them, but I'm telling you, that's a team to watch out for next year. They have so many pieces coming back. They have good pieces transferring in. Little Rock's going to be a team that I have my eye on. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily say that they're going to be a preseason top 25 in most polls, but I can tell you one person that will rank them, and that's me. And who am I kidding? You probably will too, Chris, because I know how you like to rank teams. But no, I say Little Rock is a team to really watch. They have a lot of good arms coming back. They obviously have one of the best first basemen in the country. So I'm excited to see that team next year. But man, what a season this was in baseball.
Oh, it was fun. There was never any clear-cut best team.
No.
Ever.
I mean, so as you remember,
even in the finals, you can say LSU was the better team, but that's the two best teams in America right there.
Yeah, and like I said, like the other day on our show, I said this is the first time where I look at the College World Series and I don't see a clear-cut favorite. Me being a fan, I have a favorite, but me really like analyzing the game and picking a favorite, it was anyone's game. And look, I mean, LSU was the better team in those two games, but Coastal had just as much chance to win that game as LSU did.
Game 1 had just as much. And even in game 2, there were several times they had multiple people on base and just couldn't get that one hit.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for them. Preseason, I said a statement to you preseason, and y'all told me I was crazy, by the way. I said this team could be better than 2023. I said,
not.
And hold on,
it's
and
not.
Hold on. And I said that they would win the national championship this year. And, comparing the two teams, pair ratings, went ahead and did a simulation if they played. 2023 was favored to win the series, but a lot closer than you would expect, because the difference in these two teams were 2023 was a long ball team. This team was more of a get on base team, which I like that type of play. That's more of Coach Johnson's style of coaching. Pitching wise, this year's staff as a whole was better than 2023, but 2023 had Paul Skeens, and that automatically is a victory. I don't care who 2025 lines up against him. It's Paul Skeens. It is what it is. But fielding-wise, 2025 was better than 2023. That being said, I think 2023 went through a much tougher gauntlet to get to the championship than 2025 did.
And half of these guys were backups to those dudes.
That's a good point. I mean, some of them were playing, but yeah, there were a lot of guys that were just like freshmen coming in that were on this team now. So it's cool to see that, but I just can't believe the season's over now. And it's weird. 2023, I think it felt so special because, it'd been a while since LSU had won a championship, since 2009. And, 17 got our hearts broken. Have a fresh start with Coach Johnson. It felt good, and we get it. And it finally just felt complete. And then this year's, while it's special, it does not have that luster to me that 2023 had. I see it in a totally different light.
Because this team isn't as good.
No, it's not that at all. No. It's because it's a totally different style of team. I mean, I don't think I can really compare any of the past teams because every team that's won a championship really of the last 15 years in the country, they're all just different. And we can say hypothetically that one team would beat another, but we don't have proof of that. I mean, I could say 2023 LSU would beat anybody, but nobody can prove I'm right or wrong because we will never know.
So let's do this. I would say 2018 Oregon State, 2019 Vanderbilt, 2023 LSU, 24 Tennessee are probably 4 of the top 6 greatest teams of all time. I don't think this LSU team is in that conversation.
I'll be honest. So with Jim's comment right here with Wake Forest 23, I think that 2023 Wake Forest team is top 3 of best all time that did not win a championship.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, obviously
that's got to be 17 Oregon State,
22 Tennessee,
22 Tennessee, and 23 Wake Forest.
And I really like what Wake Forest had. They were good. I mean, realistically, I feel like LSU Wake Forest in 23 was more of the championship than the Florida LSU series was. It just had a different feel to it. I mean, that legit felt like an actual like Major League World Series Game 7 every time those two faced each other. And that was insane. I could watch Rhett Lauder versus Paul Skeens every day of the week. It was just that good. And I know a lot of people that watch baseball, they may not be full fans and like appreciate the pitching aspect. They're more of they want to see long balls all day. But man, that was just masterful pitching on both sides. It was so good, so good.
And speaking of that,
my dad that's the first time my dad's ever commented on here. Man,
North Carolina.
NC State.
No.
Chris, you hate North Carolina State so much. I love it. That you couldn't have named a better team right there.
That was good right there.
This is true. I keep forgetting to mention that too. So I remember when that happened, when they said that he was out, I was genuinely shocked. Because I actually felt like LSU had like more of a chance because of that. Because with him in the lineup, you never know what would have happened there. I mean, that's a great point actually right there. But yeah, this season we saw some craziness to say the least. I mean, the fact that some of these rankings that have come out at the end of the season, you see Texas and Vandy barely in the top 20, which I know how they're ranking this. It's like if you got eliminated in the first round, that they're just doing like how far you made it's how you're ranked. I get it. I think that's fair.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I actually think where they ranked Vandy in the final rankings, that's where I would have had him all year.
Yeah.
Granted, they got on a hot streak and they played their way into a number one seed. I never had the feeling that they were that good.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
We got to get some bats. I like the new hitting coach,
Yeah.
Esposito. I think that's a great hire, and I actually feel like that might be an incentive hire. If you come in here and get our numbers up and do what you're capable of doing, this could be your job later on.
And
I think that's
cool
the type
to see,
of hire that is.
Yeah, and it's cool to see a former player come in and do it. I always appreciate that. And hey, shout out Jason King getting his old job back. That's not an easy thing to do when you leave a head coaching position.
You resign, take a different job, resign from that job, and then go back a year later, and then your best player hits the portal the same day.
Yeah. Which, I mean, honestly, after the season he had, I get it. I mean, think about it. Options to develop
if
more
you look at his
are better
numbers,
elsewhere.
yeah. If you look at his numbers, yeah, he had a great season.
Mm-hmm.
But his strikeout to walk ratio is backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that translates to the SEC because it was a lot worse. It's a lot worse than Seth Dardar's was, but Dardar's faced power forward level pitching.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair though, his numbers like on that were not bad at all either.
No,
like,
not
especially
bad at
considering the injury he was coming off of.
2 years off, and you're still. That was, that's not a problem for Seth. Whereas the kid coming from Dayton, he's not faced that kind of pitching.
Exactly.
That the Power Four has. Exactly. You can say what you want to about the Big 12 or whatever not having the SEC pitching, but still, Power Four pitching is different than Group of Five pitching. Always will be, always has been.
But see, here's the thing, though. Just because you're seeing Big 12 pitching, I mean, those teams a lot of the times do play SEC teams, and there's a lot of good pitchers in the Big 12 this year. Actually, they were actually kind of heavy in pitching this year for a change, and that was nice to see for them. Some teams, though, I think that you need to watch out for next season. I think UCLA is going to be very good next year. They're returning pretty much everybody.
If they get Gasparino,
they're set.
Yeah, that's a good piece right there.
Because I'll be honest with you, the fact that Chalowski did not enter the transfer portal, that shows you where his head is. Which I didn't think he was going to enter the portal. I think that's more of a fan's wishful thinking kind of thing. But the fact that he wasn't swayed to go somewhere else, that shows you where his mindset is and his belief in that team, which they looked good in Omaha. It's not that they didn't look good at all. I mean, they really did. They played some good baseball. And unfortunately, they were in a very heavy side of a bracket. Because let's be real, if they were on the other side of the bracket, them and Coastal would have had some good games. I think they matched up good with each other. I think it'd just been fun.
That would have been fun to see them two go at it.
Absolutely. But, unfortunately, the bottom half stacked up with a lot of power teams, and it is what it is, and it's over now. But, I mean, who would have thought going into this season that we would see a team get pretty much an 80% vote of winning a national championship by the media and have a first-year coach, a loaded roster, and suffer all the injuries they did and have as bad of a year as Texas A&M.
Right.
I mean, that's one of the craziest storylines of the year. And being number one was kind of a curse this year. Texas got their way up to number one, and then they suffered some injuries, and then they lose their star pitcher for the year, and things never went back right for them. Luckily for Texas, they had already won a ton of SEC games at that point, and they were just in the driver's seat. Top 5 teams I like already. LSU, Mississippi State, A&M, Tennessee, Vandy. Give me them 5. UCLA, Clemson, Oregon State. You know what? I like this actually. I can't even argue it because Mississippi State's going to be very good next year. They got some really good pieces coming back, some good pieces coming in. Obviously, a very respectable, proven coach coming in. I mean, I like it. I will say the only team that I'm going to question on this list, and it's not saying that I don't think they will. It's more of a I'm monitoring what they're doing right now is Tennessee. They're
Yes.
losing a lot of guys to the portal, which I mean, obviously they're going to have some really good ones come back next year, but this will be. I think this has the
The
potential
most
to be.
challenging.
Yeah, it'll be
Yes.
Vitello's biggest test this year, and I don't think he's going to fail at that test by all means. I think
Mhm.
he's going to thrive. Obviously, he's a great recruiter. He's a great coach. I think though but I think the situation he's in is why he's a coach. I think he wants a situation like this. I think he enjoys that challenge of piecing together a roster.
See, my question is that sustainable? You can't do that every year
No,
and just rebuild your roster through the transfer portal every year like that. At some point, it was pointed out that a lot of the teams that were the most active in the transfer portal last year didn't make it to Omaha.
yeah,
LSU and Arkansas were the exceptions.
sure,
Yes, Murray State had 28 new players.
yeah,
Most of them came out of junior college
yeah,
and were freshmen in junior college. So they were the exception of the teams in Omaha. Other than LSU and Arkansas, every other team that was there was put together and developed.
yep,
So I don't know that the transfer building your roster through the portal is sustainable in that sense.
yeah,
And if you look at what Tennessee did this year, over half of their pitching staff came in through the portal last year.
yep.
And we saw most of them didn't live up to the billing that they received coming in. And I think that's what hurt Tennessee in the long run.
Yeah, I think one big piece to Tennessee that just didn't get a chance to really get going was AJ Russell, though.
Yes.
I think had he had gotten to his full self and gotten his pitches all the way back to where we know they can be and should be, I really believe that Tennessee's season would have lasted longer than it did. I think had they
So-
had Russell, I think their seeding would have been better. I think they could have, had they been matched with Arkansas still, I think that they could have gotten through that. I think, though, that I think some key pieces there, because obviously you have Coons coming back next year who had some bright moments.
I think he's in the portal too.
I never saw him enter.
I was told he was going in the portal.
That's what we were told, but I haven't seen anything announced. I know that he's doing wonders in summer ball right now.
So with AJ, does that make you question how severe the injury actually was to begin with?
I'd say no. I think it was more of just. I think it wasn't necessarily him getting healthy. I think it was more of him finding his way back in general. I think it was the mechanics side of it. Because, for example, look at a guy like Chase Shores coming back from his Tommy Johns. He had all last season to recover. He was available to pitch should LSU have made the Supers, and then comes in this season but was still struggling to find his pitch. And then next thing you know, get to the end of the season, man's throwing over 3,000 RPMs on his slider and hitting 102 miles an hour on his fastball like it's nothing. And it's accurate. So, I mean.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good information right
Okay.
there.
Yeah. That actually makes sense. So I was kind of wondering about that as well. Because when he was brought back, it was weird. I still remember when it said he was a starter. I remember I went and shared it in the group chat. I was like, look at this. He's back. And I was like, what? Because I think, didn't Randy say that it was like end of April is when he was expected to really be back, and then he came back way sooner than that?
Mm-hmm.
Which, I know he wasn't throwing much. He was throwing like an inning.
Yeah.
And it was just like kind of like a bullpen session for him or whatever. But, he worked his way back, and then obviously at the end of the season he could go longer. But, yeah, I think Jim's onto something there. I think had they had just pumped the brakes a little bit, April he threw a game 6 weeks early. So see, there you go. Had they had just given up on that 6 weeks early and just let him just continue to recover, which I'm sure he wanted to go then.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously he wouldn't have pitched if he didn't want to, but I think had they had been patient and waited that out, I think Tennessee's season would have ended a lot differently.
But how much of some of them transfer portal guys not playing out like they thought they would factored into them having to make that decision to bring him back early?
Yeah, I mean, and the weird thing was too, and it's not like some of these guys were straight up bad though. It was really pitch location for most of these guys. They were just put in a spot that was just easy to hit, or it was just missing the zone and allowing a lot of walks. I mean, it was weird to watch this year. It didn't feel right, but it didn't. I don't know how to say this right though. It's like I don't think it was anyone's fault. Like I don't think it
No,
was
you can't
like
pin it on one person.
no, yeah, like I don't blame it on the coaching. I don't blame it on the player. I think it was just a happenstance of it is what it is.
Now, what I will say is when they were at Arkansas for the Super Regional, I think Tennessee played right into Arkansas's hands.
Oh, 100%.
Because one thing Tony talked about with that team is they played better when they weren't amped up.
Mm-hmm.
So what's Arkansas do? They go in there on that first game and get that thing amped up 100 degrees above normal, and then turn around on Saturday and Tennessee overcorrected, and they were too laid back. And I think that's what got them. They were too laid back because they were too amped up the day before.
I think
Played right into
fair.
Arkansas's hands.
Yeah. And it was a shame. I mean, Tennessee had a good roster on them. You know, I will say, hold on. I'm on a schedule here. I got to take my medicine.
You're good.
There we go. I always have problems swallowing that one. If I don't take it,
I think that's what happened in the Vanderbilt series too. Vanderbilt recognized that if you get these guys amped up, that's when they start making mistakes.
Yeah,
and that's what Vanderbilt played that well too. Got them amped up.
Well, and that's what LSU did too, if you think about it. So Ariel Antigua, they were getting into it on the field, and then that first game, Bayer hits the 117 in the morning home run, and then after that, Tennessee was a different team.
Mm-hmm.
And it was weird. And it's a shame, too, because, you know, you have a guy like Andrew Fisher on that team who is phenomenal. Gets on base every single game of the year. I mean, he was a great glove in the field. Like, he was just a really good player.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think he's going to do well at the next level. His bat, the way he swings, it reminds me a lot of Pete Alonso, actually. Like, when I see him, I'm like, that's who I see. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing how his game translates to that next level because he's just that good. Oh, hey.
I don't disagree with that at
all.
all.
I'm gonna agree with that all day. Yeah, his numbers were definitely better. I mean,
so not just that, but I think it's easier to get to the show easier at first base than it is at shortstop.
Absolutely.
Just because of the wear and tear on your body.
So this is one thing that I will say about Aloy, and a lot of people probably won't agree with me, which, by the way, we got 600 people in here live. That's amazing. Shout out to everybody. Much thanks. We've been wanting this for a while to happen again because this used to be like our average numbers. That was a fun time last year. But no, you know, when I look at Aloy, I see a very good baseball player that has a very good future ahead of him. Mm-hmm. But I see him as a project. I feel like there's a lot of areas in his game that need to be fixed. I think he's a good explosive player that in the college level does great. But I think when he gets to that pro level, he's going to have to change his way of play quite a bit. And I'm not saying that because of decisions made on the field of, he throws it to third. Not nothing like that. He's got a good mind for the game. I think that his overall approach at how he plays is going to just have to be adjusted a bit. He won the Golden Spikes. I can't debate him winning it. I mean, I thought Fisher was a better player, but honestly, like I said, Alex Lotus from Florida State is who I thought should have got it. I mean, that's 100% who I thought should have got it. He had way better season at shortstop. But, I mean, here's the thing, though. While Aloy is great, had a great season, he wasn't the best shortstop in the SEC.
Mm-mm.
And, again, no argument or disappointment that he won the award at all. Very happy for him.
I can name 2 off the top of my head that were better as far as defensive shortstop. They weren't as good at plate. Maybe one might have been, but defensively, I thought, and this is going to sound like a homer, but I think Vastine was better defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I think LeBron was better.
You forgot one.
Who are you going to say?
Stephen Milam.
That's why I said I can say 2, and you probably got another one in mind.
Yeah, because, I mean, Milam and Vastine had the 2 best defensive numbers in the conference in terms of errors and all that. Like, they were just great.
But Vasty just can't hit.
Yeah, at which Milam,
Period.
though, in the tournament, nails. He hit in the big moments. But his overall season, I mean, he had some ups and downs in the season at the plate. And it wasn't striking out. It was just getting the ball to drop in the right spot. But in the NCAA tournament, though, I'll take that monster all day. If he has to have lower than average numbers all the season for him to explode in the postseason, I will take it and I will not complain. But man, I just can't believe the season's over.
How does a guy that only has 2 errors all year not make it on the All SEC defensive team? That's wild to me.
Well, my thing was this too. For the Gold Glove Award, they gave it to Rock Chalowski, which, don't get me wrong, he had a great season, but he had, put it this way, Milam and Vastine combined errors were less than what Chalowski had all year.
Jesus.
Yeah. Because I think
how did RJ Austin win the center field Gold Glove?
I feel like when it comes to picking outfielders for an award, I feel like you just line them up and throw a dart, and whoever it lands on gets it, because it's so hard to find outfielders with errors because they don't make them a lot. So it's totally different than infielders since they see most of the action. But
I'm not going to whine about Austin winning it. That just kind of shocked me that he got it.
Yeah, when I saw it too, I was just like, okay. I mean, I wasn't disappointed in it, and I was like, wasn't expecting his name out there, but all right, good job.
Even as a Vandy fan, I wasn't expecting it.
So, all right, so there's our baseball talk for the night. Before we wrap this up, let's talk about the next season of the Golden Broom podcast, because obviously we'll still talk about baseball as the news emerges from it. We'll talk about the Major League Draft. We'll probably do a show to highlight who gets picked in the draft. I think that would be fun. But football season is upon us. That being said, we will try to get some more baseball interviews over the next few weeks now that player schedules are opening up more. And so we'll still keep featuring that. But we're starting to get ready to move into the football realm again, which obviously we love talking it. We probably prefer baseball more because it's just, I don't know, it's more entertaining to talk baseball to me. But I think we're going to have a good next season ahead of us. You know, one thing that I can say to everybody that knows, Tuesday nights will not be the Golden Broom podcast anymore going forward. We might do a couple pop-ups on a Tuesday as we adjust to our new schedule, but we're going back to a different schedule. So it's just easier that way. And we've learned that, honestly, when we get good views, it's usually on our Friday night shows. I will say that going to Tuesdays killed our views. Except for tonight, obviously. That's been fantastic. 620 of you in here. We're not complaining. We appreciate it. But, yeah. All right, let's see. 8 and off the bench guests are projected to go in the Major League Draft first round. So ready for it. Man, that's crazy. I mean, that's just absolutely amazing.
So I know Jim's still watching. I want to plug his brain for just a second. Does Cody Bowker get drafted? And if so, does he sign?
That's a good question. I don't think he signs. I think he would benefit by coming back another year.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he has one more year left.
But I guess then again, this is his negotiation year. All right, he says he wouldn't. So I feel like he would have to go into this with a number in his head.
Now, if I'm JD Thompson, 100%, I'm signing.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know that I could help myself by coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like a guy like Bowker, though, I feel like he could be a catalyst, just like a driving force for the team. I think he could really help them a lot. But see, there's a lot of players though that are on that line.
On that line, do you sign or do you not?
Yeah. So for example, at LSU, you got Ethan Fry, who is our designated hitter mainly this season, had a great bat on him, and now he's projected to be a pretty solid pick in the draft. But it's like, could he come back and earn a first-round spot with a good year playing in the field? Which, if I released my starting 9 for next year, he would be my starting first baseman.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Dardar would be my second baseman. Shortstop would be Monster Milam. Third base would either be Braden Simpson, the transfer from High Point, or be Tanner Reeves, who is our co-third baseman this year. And then the outfield's where I'm kind of stumped, though, because I don't know what Stanfield's going to do. I don't know if he's going to sign a pro contract this year or if he's going to try to come back for one more year, because he had a very solid year, but he could also benefit by coming back another year. And really, I think he would benefit by getting better offensively, which, don't get me wrong, I mean, he had a great year offensively, hit 300, but I feel like he could benefit and grow in his game in that point. So if he were to return, so then you would have him, Curiel, and Brown as your outfielders. If he doesn't return, you have Brown, Curiel, and I would want to say probably Ashton Larson starting in the outfield, which is fine. I mean, this team returns a lot of good dudes from this team this year. And then replacing Luis Hernandez behind the dish is going to be – it's not going to be a terrible transition. Cade Arambidi is going to be there, and he's fantastic catcher. He won the home run derby or whatever last summer before he came to campus, and I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. But I'm more excited just looking at the pitching staff for next year. My God, they don't lose hardly anybody. I mean,
same.
Yeah, it's crazy though. I mean, all right, obviously.
Well, I say that same, but people look at it like, well, you're losing McIlvain. Well, guess what? McIlvain's been a no factor for 2 years.
I was about to say.
I mean,
he's Dave Van Horn's problem now.
You're losing Thompson. Yeah. We got so many arms coming back. It's incredible how many arms we got coming back.
Exactly.
The main one being Connor Fennell.
That's your Friday night guy right now, I think.
But then you look at catcher. Bulger's gone.
Yeah.
Mac Rose just hit the portal, and he was a part-time starter this year.
Yeah, I was interested about that situation.
But we signed another catcher in the portal yesterday. So,
gotcha.
What did Mac Rose know? Did they know that they were looking for somebody else and had a commitment and realized he wasn't going to get to play again?
That's a good point. Interesting.
It's wild seeing some of these guys that have been in the portal and then being replaced by guys at the same position through the portal.
Absolutely. Well, Chris, I say we cut it short tonight. Let's not hit the 2-hour mark, because I would like to go through and cut this interview up into small video segments and share it on social media.
Oh, sure.
I think that'd be a good idea. If we keep it under 2 hours, it works out. And I think that we go ahead and cut it here. I say we stay behind for a minute because I have to tell you some cool news, and then yeah. So
I
let's.
probably have a good idea of some of that.
I don't think you do, actually.
I bet I have a good idea.
I'll let you guess it before I tell you after the show. But anywho, Chris, give me your final thoughts on the baseball season.
Final thoughts.
Yes.
I think the best two teams were in the finals. I was wrong. And by that I say I had Florida State number one preseason. I had them winning the College World Series. Even after when this tournament started, I thought they were the best team. Turns out they weren't. Best two teams were LSU and Coastal Carolina. I don't think there's any debate on that. Great to see a story like Murray State. Great to see Coach Skirka get an extension and a pay raise. Well deserved for him.
Yep.
Interesting to see what I'm interested to see what happens at Virginia and Duke. I just don't know that Virginia can maintain what they've done over the past 10 or 15 years, losing O'Connor and some of the pieces that they've lost in the portal. I'm struggling to find where they're going to be competitive.
I agree.
I'm going to do a deep dive and look for a group of 5 team that I'm going to latch on to last year like I did this year.
I think we need to do that for football this year. Each of us pick a team, and which that was actually going to be kind of what I talked to you outside of the show about. But yeah, I think we adopt a team this year that's not our normal team, that has no ties to the SEC, that is 100% would never play our teams. And we have to adopt that team for this year.
I've already got one in mind.
I'm sure you do. So, but yeah, this was a good season. I think it was a really good season of the podcast. I feel like we grew a lot.
Definitely grew.
We started out the year interviewing William Schmidt, who had a very solid freshman year at LSU. I really look forward to his growth in the offseason and hope to see him in the weekend rotation next year at LSU. It was cool to start the season with a player interview and end the season with a player interview. Shout out Seth Dardar for joining us. That was absolutely amazing. I think our ability to interview players has really grown a lot. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, we got us a pretty good list of people we've interviewed too, and it's really helped us grow. But I feel like tonight's was like all of that coming together, and just
definitely getting better and easier.
Yeah, like tonight's was that was the funnest interview I think I've been part of, and I really enjoyed it.
Remember how I used to get so nervous the day of an interview and be like,
"Oh yeah,
all nervous all day long," and it's becoming second nature to me. I've enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, I mean, he made it so easy for us. I mean, he was easy to talk to, easy to connect with. I mean, literally the minute that he announced he was going to LSU, I sent him congratulations, invite him on the show, and then within like a day, he replied back, saying, "Yeah, let's do it." And then we've been in contact ever since. Super good kid. Really look forward to seeing what he does next year. I'm excited to go into football season. I think there's a few players I need to reach out to get them on the show. I really want to get Ishmati back on. He's been a very busy man, though, getting ready for his season at Arizona, and he actually just got married. So his life's been really busy lately, so I don't know how much availability he has. But, I mean, he's two-time guest of the show. I feel like another appearance is due. Twice as nice, third time's a charm. But, man.
I had a verbal agreement with CJ Taylor.
Yep.
Unfortunately, at this time, it's unavailable to do that because he's still with the Chargers.
That makes me so happy.
He got a preferred invite to go out there for rookie camp, and he's still out there working.
See, that makes me happy because he's a guy that really works his tail off. You know, he had the injury and he had to really bounce back and recover throughout the season. By the time the end of the season got here, he was at his best, and I'm happy to see him thriving. I think he earned his pass on not being on the show for right now.
Right.
So, he's a really good dude, very easy to communicate with. He's always supported us too, and I definitely appreciate him. But man, we're about to start football. I'm ready to talk it. I'm ready to just to see the season start. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be weird though, having a couple months here where we have to deal with no sports and actually focus on our regular lives outside of all this, but it's all good.
Fair. I'll still be doing shows over on the Villains Media Network.
Absolutely.
On Villains the podcast with our good friend Andrew Anderson.
Absolutely. So, I didn't tell you this, Chris. So I'm going to be partnering up with Sunbelt Syndicate and be covering a few Sunbelt teams for them this year. Actually, really excited to do that.
Okay.
I was really wanting to. I'm actually going to be looking at Troy and Louisiana Monroe.
Okay.
So, and especially Troy being so close, it makes sense. So, and also I'm writing with college football backers as well. Be covering LSU, which I'm embarrassed to say it. I was supposed to submit my article last weekend, and then the College World Series took all my attention. But I had 3 articles ready to publish. I actually just have to submit them. So, yeah. So a lot of good things are coming. Really excited about this media venture. I'm actually hoping to talk to some people about getting into some college baseball media and joining some people. We'll see if that works out or not. I'm still haven't made my decision if I even want to reach out or not at this point, but we'll see. But anyway, it's been a great season. I'm very proud of all the teams that played this year and gave it their all. I'm thankful for all the smack talkers on Twitter and Facebook and all that, because without them, this game wouldn't grow. I mean, if you think about it, you look at 15 years ago, you would just have some small Facebook groups talking about baseball, but now it's everywhere.
The Sunday night SEC phone calls.
Man.
That's what you had.
Yeah, you really did. But now, I mean, the College World Series averaged over 2.5 million viewers and even topped at 3 million. I mean, that's beating Sunday night baseball numbers. That makes me happy. The fact that college baseball is legitimately competing with the MLB at this point. Yep. I mean, I understand it's the World Series, so it's a little bit different, but the fact that it's happening, I couldn't be happier. It's so cool, and I feel like ESPN's going to have to adapt, and they're going to have to make more of a focus for college baseball in the season, because look, I mean, I understand you do a game here and there on ESPN, ESPN2, and you know, on ESPNU and all that, but I think there needs to start being like a Saturday night baseball, and let it be dedicated to college baseball, and pick the biggest game of the week and let it be featured. It doesn't have to be SEC; it can be anywhere in the country. I don't care who it is.
Right.
I mean, you already have them on ESPN Plus anyway, so you have the TV rights. So put them on TV. Let's let the world see what they're missing out on, because the only way to grow the game is to get eyes on it. And don't get me wrong, ESPN Plus is an awesome thing to have where you can watch it. But, man, put them in the spotlight. These kids deserve it. They grind. I mean, look at tonight. Seth Dardar, the man literally, he destroys his elbow, tears his knee up, destroys his hip, questions if he's ever going to play again, busts his tail, and comes out and has double-digit home runs this season, hits over 300. I mean, stories like that need to be told on ESPN.
Right.
He shouldn't have to, people shouldn't have to learn that story by coming to our podcast and hear him tell it. Like, these things need to be highlighted on the big stage, because that's a great story. I mean, I don't know. I just hope ESPN does better with it, because, I mean, they saw how the coverage went for the College World Series. I mean, it had great eyes on it. I mean, it was perfect. I really hope this game continues to just keep growing, because I know that I'm proud to say, and you can be proud to say it as well, we were part of the journey of the growth of the sport.
Oh yeah.
And it's just cool to know, even if you're a very small fraction of it, it's just so good to be part of it. Hey, look,
He's a South
Andrew,
Carolina.
I
Wait.
get it.
You're a South Carolina fan.
We
I'm
get it.
happy it's over for you too.
It's okay though, because Andrew is about to learn that big recruiter Paul Maneri is about to shine for South Carolina.
Stop it.
I'm telling you, he is going to bounce them back next year. I'm not putting him in my Omaha 8 or
I have
even a
no
super.
faith. I have no faith in South Carolina being a contender next year.
South Carolina will make the postseason.
No, no, Andrew. I don't have New Mexico State. I do have a team that I'm thinking about right now that's going to be top 25 next year that nobody expects.
Oh God. Hey Andrew, by the way, Jimbo might
Penn.
get some business.
Penn State. Calling it now, top 25 next year.
Wait, in what sport?
Baseball.
Oh, I thought you were talking football, and I was like, bro, there might be number one.
Penn State and Clemson are going to be playing for the national championship. What are you talking about?
They could. I mean, it's a shame Clemson's going to lose week 1, but hey, it's all good.
No, they're not.
Oh, they are. It's going to be bad.
LSU has to show that they can win a week 1 game first.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Okay, stop it.
Jay Johnson is going to be helping coach this team, I hope. But no, I'm excited for it. I look forward to getting taught some smack about it. But anyway, I want to thank everyone for watching this whole season with us and sticking around. We appreciate you guys going through the rebrand with us and sticking with us, because that means a lot to us, because we didn't know where the future of the show was going. But we are very happy that it's stronger now than it's ever been. It's going to do nothing but continue to get stronger. So thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. Next week, I'm going to try to put together a best up show if I have time, and just kind of clip together some interview clips and all that and put them out there. Maybe we can have some air like that. But we're going to take next week off, regroup, plan for the football season, and get back to the roots of the original Golden Broom. We're going to have some segments, baby, and I'm ready for it. Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Chris's Corner, I haven't really decided a name for this yet, but I'm going to let Chris have his hot takes moment, where I just give him a solid 60 seconds to just blast whatever he wants. And that's going to be my favorite segment on the whole show, probably. Might give you more than 60 seconds. We'll see how it goes.
We had a name for it before.
What was it? I don't even remember.
See if you remember it. We had the icebreakers.
Was it? Oh, it was something. Oh my gosh. I cannot remember. I can say it in my head, but I can't say it out loud. It's there, but it's blurry.
Mm-hmm.
It was a weird wordage, and say it because it's killing me.
Well, we had the icebreakers to start it
Yep.
off.
Yep.
I got to double check it. Give me just a few minutes, and I will tell you what it was. Because I'm drawing a blank too.
Something ruminations or some. What was it? Oh man. Wasn't it like something ruminations or some weird word like that?
I don't think it was that. I'll tell you in just a second. Take me a minute to pull it up.
I cannot remember.
Because icebreakers was the cold hard truth.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
I'll have it in just a minute. God, even I forgot the name of it. I remember the icebreakers though.
Oh,
But then we had somebody kind of take over our show instead of being a collaboration,
yeah.
and we got away from it.
Yeah, it's all good.
But here we are.
Yep, no complaints. I'm happy. Well, anywho, I say let's go ahead and shut this sucker down. I'll let you figure that out while we're going off the air, and you can tell me because I just cannot remember off the top of my head.
All right, you're good.
All right, so anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in a couple weeks, talking some football and probably some transfer portal news and all that good stuff. So have a good night. We'll see you then. Thank you for watching.
On the diamond where they play, sweeping competition every day.